What's up? All right. So I've been making a lot of stuff for the comic book. I figured I'd take a step back and do just a random drawing. So we're gonna just jump right into it. So what I'm gonna do here is something I learned from another artist. But you go here on the layers, you select multiply, and what you're gonna do is take a brush. I actually like working with straight uh, or triangular brushes. So actually, let's start off. Oh, where's my brush? I want a charcoal brush. This might work, to be honest. I was gonna get like a harder edge, but I think that's gonna work. So what you do is you select this layer, you put it to multiply. That way, when you're using this brush, you can actually go back and forth using the hotkey. I got it set to X to switch between uh, this, the dark, switch to X. It acts like an eraser, so you're constantly using a brush essentially instead of going back and forth between going over here or using a hotkey for eraser. I kind of like this setup sometimes, to be honest. Uh, so let's just start throwing stuff in here. I'm just dropping in a color. I don't know what I'm doing yet, so whatever happens, whatever it turns into, we'll just go from there. Which, honestly, I would like to. You know what? Let's do that. Light gray. Let's let's turn that to black. Let's do the opposite this time and work with we're not gonna do the original multiply thing. We're gonna work straight to white. I don't need a I saw this artist do a character drawing of like a kind of a zombie, which is usually like a morbid looking grotesque zombie guy. And it's usually my bread and butter. So I'm like, why fight it? Like I need to do like the same thing. Kind of see what I can come up with. I got my image set to uh, 72 DPI, which is going to give me that buttery look right now. The brushes are going to behave better. I like, especially recording. I don't have like a super cool computer, so actually I kind of see a picture in this already. Let me carve it out for you guys to kind of show you. Look at that. I got almost like that coming down. See, beginnings of a face that's just like meh. I got one dog outside my room, and then I got my buddy Cooper hanging out with me on the bed next to me. So that's my setup right now. Just I've been drawing a lot of gaping mouths lately, so we're gonna take that away and kind of maybe do something different. I like all the brush strokes because I feel like it gives it texture. off the top of my head, I kind of almost want to just turn this into Clayface. That's what it's kind of looking like to me. Which I should do, to be honest. You know what? I might do it. We'll see. We'll see how it looks. Kind of like a dark Clayface, like realistic. Like that's something I've been doing lately that's been kind of taken off. It's instead of going all in, I've been noticing like the stuff that I've been making kind of subtle has been doing a little bit better than my all or nothing kind of monsters. Which there might be something to that, is what I'm saying. So like instead of just making this grotesque, just nasty face, kind of like dumb it down. Like think like I'm trying to figure out the best way to explain it. Think like older movies versus new ones, or like uh, natural SFX versus like CGI. Like if they were to do a Clayface back in like the 80s or something, you know? Like how would that look versus how they're doing Clayface now, where it's just gonna be CGI? And that's kind of like I feel like that older stuff, that like more practical, kind of like uh, makeup and stuff that like forces you to be creative and kind of relies more on the performance of the artist versus just handing it over to a studio uh, and telling them to fix it no matter what, you know. It's almost like real painting versus this digital stuff. Like real painting, there's a lot less room for error, whereas like this, I could do whatever, you know, Control Z, and then back to good. So I think that's what gonna do. I think we're gonna turn this into like almost like a clay face kind of portrait. It's like kind of like how it's looking like kind of subtle. Clayface is supposed to be like a horror movie too, so or you know what? We should do something else to be honest because I can't do nothing with an established IP. It's like I used to try to draw work on comic books, and so like I submitted a bunch of stuff to Marvel, and um, I got to the point where I got far enough for them to be like, well, like what have you done before? You know, who have you worked for? And I was like, I haven't worked for anybody yet, and they're like, oh, we don't hire unestablished people, which is a lie because they hired a bunch of like uh, authors that had no business making comic books. You know, they would make like young adult uh, novels, and that's how they got into comic books. And it's not fair, you know, like people that don't care about comic books. And I mean, they paid the price for it too because like nobody bought that stuff. It didn't carry over. So sometimes I hold that grudge, which is funny because after I did that whole thing with the Ghost Rider, like, and then Ghost Rider, like they made a TV show, and this is like 2 years after I was trying to apply for whatever I could get. Um, Ghost Rider came out on one of those TV shows they're doing, and then they came out with a comic book where he like has the car, and it's like, oh, okay, whatever. do like where this is going though for like Clayface. If I was smart, because I could just always use this as kind of like a not a cash grab, but just like an attention grab. If I do the Clayface thing, which like let's try that real quick. X, I got this font. I hate I hate Adobe Photoshop with a passion. I really do. It's just retarded. It's just retarded. But that's how it would essentially end up looking, right? So let me hide that because it's gonna keep popping up. Because, like I said, Photoshop is kind of retarded. I know it boils down to the user and all that stuff, but it's just stupid some of the things it does. Like just out of nowhere, it'll select on a completely different layer, even though, like I almost lose my mind messing with this program sometimes. So essentially what I would want to do though for this one is kind of like bring in some realistic features. So if I was making this Clayface thing, I would want to bring in like some reference of the character playing Clayface, and then like I would want this to be hyper realistic. So this whole section, just the eye, his nose, his mouth, like we need to make it like with his likeness, like whatever, however you say that word, likeness, I guess. Almost said likeliness, but it's like his likeness. So that would be the goal for that. I'm still gonna mess around before I bring in any reference stuff. So we're gonna see what we can get before we even go that route. We can kind of spice it up a little bit without going that way yet. See if we can get some cooler accidental designs. I like this stuff that kind of like you can barely see this. I don't know if it'll show up when I do the thing, the when I convert it to video. But I like this like buttery kind of like runoff right here. This stuff, that's like my favorite. Like that's my favorite thing about drawings lately. It's just that little runoff. It's just so soothing for me to see. Uh, like I almost want like part of his face coming this way, and then like other parts of his face looking that way. Like that'd be pretty cool. Maybe he's like kind of looking at us, like in just terror. Because it's a Clayface is cool because you can kind of. I mean, he's a villain, but at the same time, he's like a tragic story because it's just a guy that it's like all the botched uh plastic surgery stuff. Like not terrible people. They just I don't know. They're self. I guess could it be a narcissist would be a good angle. kind of like a sociopath because like no matter what, that's how it should be, I guess. Just self-centered, like my computer's like, let me see. Let me see what I can do. I'm pulling up reference right now, so actually I've been looking at this one guy. I'll talk about that a little bit. This Ron Francis guy. I got him pulled up in my queue. I've been looking at his art lately, and it's like these realistic paintings, but it's all kind of like little eerie moments. Like I got this one where it looks like a guy's pulling maybe like a family member out of like an abandoned like he was too late to save his grandma or something, and he's like taking her corpse out of a building. And it's like not like this crazy like how I was saying with my monsters, how like when I do over the top stuff, people are just like, yeah, cool, and they scroll on, you know. But when I notice when I do the more subtle stuff, like there's just a very like hint, the more realistic but hint at it things, it gets more attention. Like it's like I've been talking about zombies a lot lately. Like it's like uh Night of the Living Dead, the black and white one, versus any other one, because it was like basic makeup. It was super simple, like nothing crazy. It was just that it was like the idea of the actual world that they're in is what scares people, you know? They didn't have to have a ton of makeup, and it was just super simple. And I think there's definitely something to it. Like it's scarier than like a monster with three heads, you know? So I need to keep I want to study that guy's art, to be honest. I think he's an oil painter. If you get a chance, I'd pull up his art. I've been checking it out a lot lately, and I might do some studies. I have this one that I saved to my phone with the comic book I'm doing coming up. I have this scene where like they're kind of falling through the sky, and he has this image where this guy is like date or he's like in a dream, but he's like in his pajamas. He's like floating through some clouds, and I don't know if it was like the perfect picture for me to see because like that's what I've been kind of trying to do lately. And then I saw that, right? And I'm like, yes, you know, so the universe works in mysterious ways, which is why I almost want to say I need to give up on this Clayface thing because I've been working on the comic book and yeah, let's let it go. And I need to do stuff for the Kickstarter. You know what I'm gonna do? We're gonna like between you and me, whoever's watching this video, this is essentially like my take on a Clayface looking character maybe, but it's gonna be a monster. So um, let's move his eye back more because I need to do more work on his cheekbones back too on my actual Kickstarter. So it's gonna be a monster. It's gonna be a one-off painting. So I'm not cheating you out of this video. I'm not gonna. I've been putting everything in my playlist for making comic books lately. But this one's just gonna be like, hey, we're drawing a monster, but I think it's gonna be an image I'm gonna use for my Kickstarter page. So Uh, the anatomy's all messed up. I've never been one to like do all that weird like stuff where they do this. I'll do it real quick. And I probably should, but at the same time I don't want to. They'll draw a face and they do the math and like this and then this and then this and then you do the half of this and that's where the mouth is going to be and then you do the radius and that's where the ear is going to be and then you cir circumvent that to this side and that's where the hairline is going to start. I don't want to do that. I don't care. It's a drawing. And like I know a lot of people that are none of them watch these videos, but that are real artists, quote unquote, right? Um, Probably be like, yeah, that's why they'll never know your name or whatever the Troy line is. But again, like sticking to my guns, like I just like drawing, so fuck off, right? I go to I got a commercial gym and they got heavy bags and this is coming from a this is coming from like I used to try to do amateur boxing and professional boxing. And so I've been in real gyms with like world class fighters, like people that have been like just insane, like on TV fighting. And then I've seen how they train and I've trained in real boxing gyms and blah blah blah, right? And then like for someone at the gym to be like try to pretend it's a real boxing gym even though it's just a commercial Crunch Fitness. And they're acting like you have to ah this is the stuff that gets me in trouble because I go off on rants. I'll just say it like this, like commercial gyms are commercial gyms. It's not a boxing ring, and even if it was, they're not doing it right either because they're not working on their fundamentals. They just want to control whoever else is doing their stuff because they want to act like, you know what I mean? That's all it is. Suddenly, I don't like this drawing anymore. Eh, it happens. I can probably still salvage it, I guess. But we'll just get some basic stuff in there to kind of see like where it could go. Maybe bring the eye back even more is what it is. Got that, and then his nose is gonna come like this. It's been like making the difference too. Is I've been using gradients for like inside the face, and it's been making my like faces look extremely real. I'll try to do. I don't know if I want to do that on here because it looks so. I like the buttery look. Where's this is the stuff I'm talking about with Adobe Photoshop. Like it's too early in the morning for this. All right, let's do that real quick. We're gonna go look up some skin textures. Uh, Probably get away with this. Let me just throw the skin. Like this isn't necessarily skin texture, but it's texture, so it's gonna fill in a lot. Start over now. Okay, let's do that. Let's do a big one. Man, T, move it around. You don't have to stick with like the way the brush comes out. So right there. Let's go here. Turn and multiply. Let's lower the opacity by a lot. Just kind of give it some room to grow. Merge layer because I hate too many layers. It starts acting weird after a while. Uh, let's see what this gets us. Yeah, that's good grain. I like that brush. I might have to use that more. Okay. What else we got? Oh, oh god. What it is, this brush is larger than my. There we go. So let's make another layer. That looks terrible. Makes him look like the thing though. So we're gonna go here, and no, we're not gonna do nothing there. We're gonna go to opacity, and we're gonna scale it way, way down. There we go. And we're gonna select a different brush real quick before this thing crashes my computer. All right. So this is what I've been doing lately with my simple drawings. It's kind of building skin textures and kind of like nasty looking faces. And then what you do from here is you go get a soft brush. Let's merge those layers. I'm no hypocrite. And then you go and set it to multiply. And you take it section by section and you carve out like the depth. And believe me, like you pay attention to this just enough and it's gonna make your drawing look like I've been kind of like super impressed with my own work. Like I act like I know what I'm doing. And essentially, I learned that from like uh, mapping faces, like using like old school technology and trying to map faces onto like uh, drawings I was doing, and then like studying it. Like, look at this part right here. This sucks. I gotta fix that eventually. And that's what I realized what was going on is gradients. There's no fine lines, you know, in art. There's no edges or art in real life. There's no edges. We're gonna cut away at a couple things. Essentially, is what we're doing. I don't know if it'd be better to like do this with color. To be honest, you don't want to do too much too because it'll smoothen it out and kind of ruin it. This drawing sucks. Let's play around with the opacity too. See if I actually like that. I didn't think I was gonna like that as much. I like it right there. All right, let's merge that before I think twice. Okay. All right. Um, Let's see what we're looking at. It's a weird looking dude, is what it is. Okay, so let's go with it. What I like to do sometimes is I'll see like little, let me get a little bit of a brighter, and I'll go in and I'll see like these little like kind of happy accidents, right? I try to carve them out a little bit more. Just little spots that like kind of stick out to me to where like I'm like, okay, that's some character, you know? And the worst part with like the comic I'm doing right now is like I made one of the main characters, super scarred up because I liked how it was looking. And the problem with that is like now I have to draw that for 60 something pages. And I'm like, oh, my dog is like right under my feet. And what I've been doing a lot lately too is and it's been paying dividends is like, and I'll say it like this, like when I'm not recording, this recordings actually help me in like kind of like a way I thought it would too. But and I talked about it in one of the videos is you get kind of stage fright when you're recording. Like it's weird. It's like you have to do something cool or you know what I mean? And you gotta perform. You can't just make like a stupid drawing because even though this is a stupid drawing because like people are watching and you're like, you know, that's what sucks about doing the live videos is like hopefully it comes out cool. Otherwise, you're like, oh, this sucks, and then people saw it, you know. But that it kind of helps you though, because like the last drawing I did, the last couple drawings I've done where I didn't record them, like turned out phenomenal. And I think it was just like that kind of like, you know how like in Dragon Ball Z, Piccolo will have the weighted vest, and like then he fights better because he takes the weighted vest off, and then all of a sudden he's like super fast or whatever, you know. It's kind of like that. Like after you're done recording, or you turn off the recorder and you start drawing, it's like all of a sudden you're good. You're like, where was this when I was trying, you know? But it's something I've noticed to where I'm like, I want to use it to my advantage because like, or it's just it's cool to like know that that's been making me better. You also you tap into that kind of flow state. I think easier too is what it really is. Because when you're not paying attention to what you're saying and just kind of having fun drawing and forgetting about everything, like it's a it's a different type of drawing that makes it easier to convey what you're trying to get done. And that's what I see here is like I'll just go through and I kind of see little kind of lines like this, right? And that's from throwing those textures in, and then you just kind of bring stuff out more. And the gradient's already in there, and so like it kind of looks pretty cool, I think. But that's another thing is when you're not recording, you kind of spend more time just like I'll spend like I spent like 2 days just doing this on like one drawing, and it looks like one of my favorite artists is this guy named Adi Granov, who did like the Extremist Warren Ellis comic of Iron Man, which they based the nanotech and all that crap from the movies off of. Even though the comic book's way better, it makes more sense. Um, he did the art for it, and it's like the smooth, just really cool art. And I actually met him at a Comic Con, and I was just asking him. He's like one of those people I was talking about when like you ask him like, "Hey, how do you do this?" And like the other guy, he's all like, "Draw more," and I was like, "Fuck you," you know. What's that? You remember that skit where the guy's going around and he's helping these women like move, and he's like just being polite. He's like, "Hey, I got this for you," and like hold the door or whatever, and like hold the fish tank, and then the girl's like, "Oh, thank you. My boyfriend's really gonna appreciate it." He's like, "Fuck off." That's my reaction to every time like one of my favorite artists, I ask them for advice, and they're just like, "Draw more. Fuck off." I should really do that though in real life. Like go to these art conventions and like record it because I know what they're gonna say. "Oh, if you just draw more, fuck off." I'll do like that French thing where you spit at them. I wouldn't do that. It's just funny to think about. I like how like stupid this mouth looks. Yeah, like there's something like just terrifying about just stupid mouths and faces where it's just, like what was that movie? It was like the Borrowers or They Live Under the Stairs or in the Attic, some movie like that. And it was a guy called Roach that lived in the attic and the crawl spaces and all that. And I don't remember it being a scary movie, but I remember it used to scare me because like they cut out his tongue. And so like when he was trying to talk and stuff, he'd be like, "Woo!" I think I just snapped a little bit. I gotta get a hold of myself. Hold on. All right, I gotta get it. Hold on, I gotta get it. I gotta, I gotta pull myself together. Hold on. Oh, I'm crying. Uh, Life is, life has been rough. Life has been rough for me, guys. So, like, let me laugh a little bit. Let me pull myself together. I don't know what happened, but I just cracked. But I felt like that Ralph Fiennes guy. I forget how you say his name from like Harry Potter when he does his spell on Harry Potter. That's what it felt like for a second. All right, all right, I'm back. Okay, I'm good. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to see that. Okay, okay. Whew. Okay, okay. My dog, my dog's coming over to help me. I'm gonna have to end this video. Okay. Okay. Yeah, but it's stuff like that. Like as I was a kid, that used to scare me. Oh man. Oh my God. It's okay, Cooper. I'm all right, buddy. My dog came over to to help me. All right. I gotta figure this eyeball out. If we can figure that eyeball out, I think we're gonna pull this drawing together. This is reminding me of that fat guy on the toilet from like the Resident Evil trailer, which I like how much like I like how much that movie's like that scene has gotten so much attention. And people were like, what do you see when you go to a construction site and open up the porta potty? It's just all the jokes with that scene. It'd be funny if that guy's not even infected. Like he was just that was like the first toilet he found. Okay. Okay. I feel good again. We're back at it. I don't like this eyeball. It's too round. What I like to do sometimes is just like keep scribbling into the eye socket until something's like, here I am. You know what I mean? Ugh. For a while, I would do I wouldn't say studies, but I would look up a lot of like mummy stuff, like realistic uh corpses, I guess. I've talked about this before too. As an artist, I think everybody does it, so I'm not special. But looked up some bad stuff that like I wouldn't normally want to see, you know? It turned out all right, huh? Like I used a kind of squished eyeball technique to come up with the eyeball I want to use. That's where you just like you ever that's one of the things that bother me personally is anything to do with eyes. Like mostly it's like the physical stuff. Like I can't put what's that eye wash stuff? I can't put that stuff in my eye because that's how like not sensitive, but like just against it, like or like how like I just can't do it, you know? It's like people with needles. Like some people just cannot, inject themselves or get shots and stuff because they can't stand the needle. And that's how I am with eyeballs. Like any stuff that has to do with my eyes is like I cannot put eye wash in my eyes. I can't do it. Just because it affects me so much, and it's to the point where like it creeps me out anything with eyeballs. So don't be afraid to get in here with a smudge brush instead of just a regular brush sometimes. I'm gonna go ahead and say that was too much of the smudge inside the eyeball. I kind of like the rough look, so keep it kind of vague. Yeah. Um, I was talking about this the other video. If I didn't delete it, it was one of those. But I kind of have a bias towards which side the drawing is looking at. This one, this is I guess what I'm getting at. This one, I'm not feeling it. Where like most of the time, like I hate flipping the canvas because I'm dead set on this side, you know. This one I don't really care too much, I guess. I'm not feeling that kind of like 80, or is it 80? No, it's OCD. I'm not feeling that OCD on this one. It might just be because like I don't really have any expectations for this one. So like I don't really care. So I guess that might be what it is that like because I don't care about this drawing and it doesn't really do anything for me. Is that like my body's you know? Or if it's something that I'm really like the comic book, if I'm like really trying to do something with the image, I'll probably have more of that kind of feeling of like I need to like I don't want to keep flipping the canvas because I'm dead set on this angle, you know? Or rather, I work on that angle a lot and I only flip it just to make sure the proportions are correct and all that good stuff. Um, I can tell right away. I do not like that right there. I'm gonna switch that up. So I didn't like how this middle part was like taking over the majority of the eye from a distance at least. Yeah, I like that a little bit better. I'm also determining whether I want to just keep his mouth kind of closed versus like putting a couple teeth in there, which, you know what? I draw a lot of, even though like I've said it before, I need to draw more teeth and do some studies. I've been drawing teeth and everything, so let's keep this image like toothless. Whew. Excuse me. Clear my throat. I'm supposed to go to the gym at some point today. It's a leg day, which is usually my favorite day. Uh, and that's not just like me being like, I like leg day. Like I actually like leg day because of uh, how demanding it is. Like I like how like really tough workouts. That's the only reason I like leg day. Like, 'cause I separate my workouts pretty good, I'd say, for what I'm doing. And a lot of these workouts you can get done in a couple sets, like your biceps, couple sets, triceps, couple sets, forearms, whatever. Chest, three workouts, really, right? And just different tempos, and just not a lot you can do. Whereas legs, you got hamstrings, quads, and those quads pretty much break into three different sections. And I know you could say this about your triceps and shoulders and all that, but then you also got like your inner thigh and those like sneak up on you, where you're like you can't even walk and stuff like that. And then you got your calves, which don't at me about the calves, but and it's just so much to do that it feels like it's like a whole day. And I just like that about it. Is all. I still want to do something with this eye. I don't know if I can like turn a little pearl of eye. I'm just leaving it. What's the word? Ambiguous or where like you can't really tell what's going on in there. I kind of like that. There we go. I don't do that often. Like I've seen some of my favorite artists do that where like they'll go over a couple brush strokes and I've always wondered, I'm like, I don't do that, I don't think. Like where you sit there for like a couple minutes and you just cannot get the right brush stroke, you know? And for a minute, I didn't think I was doing that until I just realized I could just caught myself doing it just there. Because it's digital, you can always just go over the brush stroke and just like, you know, like just go over the brush stroke. It's going to build texture. Um, but that's kind of cool because I've been wanting to kind of not take a step back, but just see if I'm paying that much attention to detail on certain things. Which, like I said, with this one, like it's nice to see that I did that because I say I don't care about this image, but like at least I have some standards that I want to at least uphold. It's not like I'm just scribbling this just to scribble it. Like I at least care a little bit about the way it's gonna look. I'm just adding texture back in because I feel like it was too smooth here. But the whole point of this thing too, besides showing you, you see what I meant about the grades. Like this actually needs to be like kind of darkened, put some a little bit more depth in here. Smoky too. I like the smoky kind of uh, shading. just that light opacity, not to where it covers up the texture underneath, but just kind of glazing over it. And I feel like that's where it makes it look cool, and like the difference between kind of realistic, I think. I'm also still learning, so I always take everything I say with a grain of salt, I guess, or whatever. Your own, a plan to do it on your own to see what you can come up with, really, how it works for you. Okay, so I got that. Let's see how that looks. Tim, the Tool Man Taylor. That's who this is. I'm kidding. That's the other thing too, is this stuff breaks down in so many different pieces. Because like if you can put it all together too, like I'm not doing that here, but as I'm doing this, I realize like if I could pull it all together, I might actually be a pretty decent artist. Because like on top of all this, you have your lighting, and I know I haven't done anything for lighting on here. Like that also helps it, like in its own way to help it like make it look more realistic. Another thing I've been doing lately is been treating the eyes different as to like being sharper, not sharper, like duller. So I always get caught up in that kind of like that focal point of eyeballs. And from what I've been learning with the stuff I've been doing lately, is like it helps it if you kind of take that away. And it's partly because of all that like gross studying I've been doing with the dead bodies. Where like I've had to look at like some of these pictures where like I just wanted to see what their eyes look like, as creepy as that sounds. Um, because there's a difference between like the way your eyes look for sure, when you're alive versus when you're gone. And even just that, if you could just nail that look, um, you don't have to draw the gnarly teeth or like the deformed jawline and whatever, like just having, because I think your brain knows what it's looking at subconsciously. I think it's such a thing within us primitively that like it creeps you out because like your brain's like it recognizes what it's looking at, thus like making it hard to look at really. That's what I was saying. Like when I was seeing some bad references, I was like, oh, this ruins your mood. But it definitely helped my last couple drawings, I feel like, for sure. And like going forward, I can like kind of rely on like what my studies that I did. I don't like this. Maybe I can bring that back down. I just like this mess in there because it's like you don't want to know, you know? No, I think the HVAC guy's here, so I might have to call this done. Go work on the AC. The AC's been messing up lately. I don't know. I hope it looks pretty cool. What it is. I might actually just use this as a chance to go to the gym, so I can work on the AC and I can. I do know I kind of want to do something with this area right here. I know that for a fact. It's just like, what do I do? That's the other thing I've been doing lately is I was working on ears. I didn't add it to this one because I've been doing it so much. Um, I was just like put like a hint of just like something, because I don't want to do another ear. That's all. We'll just leave it like that and kind of like render it out a little bit here and there. I kind of like uh, the colors though, or not the colors, the depth and all that good stuff. Let me actually add another. This turn the opacity down a bit. I'm gonna carve that out a little bit more. So I don't want too much. Get back in here. Bam, 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 bam. Let's see how that looks. I don't like that. Back. Yeah. I want too much. You just want a hint. Almost looks like Marlon Brando a little bit, right? I think that's what's happened with this eye too, is even though like I had no direction with the eyeball, it actually looks like this is the eyeball right here, and this is just like which I might lean into, to be honest, because it kind of turned out looking like Marlon Brando. I might lean into that more and kind of give him like really, 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 really puffy looking upper eyelid. So let's do another layer and see how that would look. Give him that kind of mafia look, which that might solve this area and what I want to do with it. So kind of carve away at a couple things. Wrong brush. Color. This is where I would go in and kind of like do all the texturing of like the wrinkles and kind of pull up some reference and see kind of the wrinkles and how they go into the rest of the face and stuff like that. So This is just all noodling, really. Just making it look real and having reference to kind of push it a little bit more if you wanted to. Okay, trying to figure out where I want to take this. It's still too smooth. So, like if I was making this like a fully rendered thing, I would come back and get rid of all these lines. There wouldn't be any like, it would just be depth. Like I hate, that's one of the things I've been working on is like I hate lines lately, or like hard edges, because it just makes it look cartoony. So just doing stuff like that, like kind of taking it away and smoothing it out really. Which the hardest part is this right here. Yeah. But yeah, stuff like that. Especially in this ear, you want to get rid of all the lines, kind of just blend it in to like where it's an actual shape versus just a sketch. Yeah, I think you do that, and you got like a pretty good, realistic looking critter. I didn't think this eye is too bright too. That's like one thing I didn't want to do is you see the difference though? Like, look at that. I'm telling you, I know a thing or two about a thing or two. You can kind of see where all that texture comes into play too. Just like nice little like gradients and what was the funniest part is like the weird mouth that I made turned out, I pointed at it, turned out the way it did. It's kind of funny. He's a character, I think. I almost want to make that kind of a thing. You know what this reminds me of? Is have you ever seen the Frankenstein movie with Robert De Niro as Frankenstein? That's what it kind of looks like. If you haven't seen it, like it's one of my favorite Frankenstein designs. Ooh, not cramping up, but I'm kind of. Yeah, yeah, looks pretty good. This is a good sketch to start the day too, right? Turned out definitely better than I thought it was going to. So it's really just cleaning up edges and kind of softening a lot of stuff. And just blending a lot of strokes that look digital. So that's really it. I don't know what to talk about beyond that. Just noodling. Cleaning stuff up. I think it turned out pretty decent, huh? Yeah, I think that's it. So, all right. I hope you liked the video. Um, Maybe we'll do something else with this thing or color it the next one or whatever. But if you watched it, thanks, and I'll see you on the next one.